Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And that is another example of what we're going to focus on today. I'm going to take you to Hartford, Connecticut, where a group of individuals in deep blue Hartford, in gun control state Connecticut, are taking up their Second Amendment rights to patrol their own environments, their own neighborhoods, to protect themselves against criminals. If the police aren't going to do it, if the politicians aren't going to do it, if the city legislators aren't going to do it, people are defending themselves. And that is what we're going to break down, because there's a lot right here that's a lot deeper underneath the surface. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this one, because this is the seeds of freedom. That's what we're talking about right here, people. Now, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. Distributing freedom twice daily and passing the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. Thank you for that support. Let's dive into this, because there's some things you need to know about this. Armed citizens patrolled considered to address gun violence in Hartford. Now, this came out this morning, a couple hours ago. Tim and I broke this down with a little bit longer format. Check it out, Second Legacy. It'll also be linked. But while we're addressing this is in deep blue Connecticut. This is gun control. This is duty to retreat. This is ultimate gun control leftism. Why is this happening there? That's why. The question of why is incredibly powerful. So let me show you what they're saying here. Addressing gun violence in Hartford with citizen armed patrols. That's what a local activist said community members are asking for. Historically, oppressed people have taken up arms to protect themselves. That is true. As an African American, I don't see anything wrong with it, activist and gun owner Cornell Lewis said. There is nothing wrong with it. If you're going to defund the police, if the police aren't going to show up, if the wait times are 30 minutes to an hour to get help, why would you wait on that and just accept the outcome when you can have the Second Amendment rights to defend yourself and protect your communities? That's the important piece. That's why I'm breaking this down. That's why we covered it on Stone Second Sense with Katie's channel. That's why we covered it on Second Legacy, and that's why we're covering it here. This speaks to the seeds of freedom. People say, I'm not putting up with your promises which are broken anymore. We're going to take care of it ourselves. That cannot be more American. And the Second Amendment is a tool. It is a utilization for solving these problems. You don't have to use it, but to defend yourself to solve the problem is what they're going after. Now, this is really important, because when it says, well, let me just get into this. Lewis is helping coordinate a response to the recent gun violence in the city. Quote, we're patrolling the neighborhood, but we have guns because the Second Amendment says that if you have a license, you are allowed to carry one. He said, okay, well, let's just address the elephant in the room. The Second Amendment does not say that if you have a license, you can carry it. The Second Amendment says you have the right to keep and bear arms. That's what it says. It doesn't say you are beholden to the state to pass a licensure test and then you can have the privilege of which you already had. That's a state level thing. I'm not going to split hairs. Tim and I had some fun with that on our channel. But this is the important piece. They are patrolling their neighborhood and are utilizing the Second Amendment, which is a right. They may not be right on the licensing thing. I'm not going to split hairs. They're going in the right direction. But again, why is this fermenting in a gun control zone like Connecticut or Hartford? This is deep blue. This is this is like indigo blue. So why is this happening? Because the promises by the gun control state are failing and people are taking up their own rights to solve their own problems. This push and lean towards self-reliance is something that you're going to see across the board as systems continue to break down. But let's continue. Lewis is looking to coordinate armed patrols in Hartford consisting of citizens with legal guns. He said some community members have requested this for an event next month, saying they have no confidence in the police to protect them. There's the problem. The gun control politicians will say, no, guns aren't allowed because they're evil and people get hurt. We're going to provide you a police force with guns, which is an ultimate irony, and then they're not going to show up and we're going to defund them. It's pretty simple. You're not doing it. You're breaking the promise you've promised while you infringe upon our rights. We're going to take care of ourselves. Get out of the way. But the state can't have that. Check this out. Many of these people don't live in the community in the existential angst that we're involved in, he said. This is talking about they don't understand our problems. They don't. Criminal justice professor Mike Lawler with the University of New Haven said these civilian armed patrols come with legal risk. Again, think about where this is being distributed. This is local and regional. This is in Connecticut and Massachusetts. Going back to that ground news thing, it's helpful to see where it's being distributed. They are trying to drum up support against this in these deep blue areas. Because if this spreads, they can't be having that. And here's the last thing. This part fascinates me. You have a duty to retreat if you can with complete safety. So this whole idea of going towards a problem and trying to break it up and using a gun is going to get you arrested if anybody gets hurt, Lawler said. That's the professor. He said police officers go through a lot of training in Connecticut on when to use firearms in volatile situations. So this is the entire premise of this video. You have the police state that says in Connecticut you can't have a gun. You have to go through all these loops and jump through all these hoops, and you can't have your rights unless we say you can. They've got the populace believing that the Second Amendment says you can have a gun if you have a license, which is completely incorrect. Again, go in the right direction, but incorrect. And then you have the law professors saying, well, you have a duty to retreat, which is another blue state law that says you have to run away by all means, any way possible before you engage into self-defense. And that's what he's saying. They're just going to get in trouble. So the state has provided the police that are not doing it. They've told you can't have guns and infringe upon your rights to do it yourself. And if you do defend yourself, you're going to go to jail because you have a duty to retreat. How long until that catches on as completely unfair and stacked against everyday population? And that's why we're covering it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.